Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my third Q&A leading up to the third episode of The Walking Dead Season 5, Four Walls and a Roof. Alright, so very excited for tonight's episode, of course, and this one could contain spoilers depending on how the questions go, if you guys haven't seen all the way up until this episode yet. So if you haven't seen all of The Walking Dead up to current time, which would be Season 5, Episode 2, if you haven't seen that, you're worried I might spoil something in the Q&A, then yeah, you may not want to watch. So that said, I have some pretty good questions for today's Q&A. We'll lead it off with one from Luke Peters. Of course, as you guys know, the review will be posted tonight. Predictions video, I've decided I'm going to post it same night, so I'll do review, predictions, top 5, all within 12 hours after the actual airing of episode 3, and then of course throughout the week we'll do the discussion topics, and when I run out of those, finish off the week with daily Q&As if I have enough good questions. Thanks to you guys, I do. So yeah, first question, probably the best one, is from Luke Peters. This is one I get asked every so often. I thought it made sense to go ahead and answer it now because The Walking Dead Season 5, of course, has started and we're getting underway pretty quickly here with a good pacing. His question is, how long do you think it's been since the apocalypse started or since Rick woke up in the post-apocalyptic world? Months, years? What's your speculation? I've been wondering for a while and haven't been able to find the answer. Thanks for all you do. I love all your Walking Dead related videos. Keep up the great work, man. Well, thanks, Luke. Appreciate it. And this isn't one that I've been asked this quite a few times as the series has gone through, since I've been doing videos since the first season, first episode. So at this time, here's my opinion. Now, this is just my opinion, and it has changed over time, but when I consider it like this, and people will argue this one, this is just my thoughts. If you want to start an argument, post something on the internet. Sure enough, somebody who sees it will start to argue with you about it. If there's any indication it could be debatable, it will be. So this is a good question. So the first 2 seasons, no time skip in between. The first 2 seasons are back to back. So when the first season ends and the second season starts, aside from some deleted scenes, we can assume hardly any time has passed. At the end of the second season, however, we have our characters wearing coats. It's getting really cold outside. Their breath is frost, in the air. You've got frost. And we get the idea after the second season that they had been going around in circles all winter. So at that point in time, at the beginning of season 3, thanks to T-Dog, one of his only contributions to the series, well, that and saving Carol, who in turn saved the rest of the group. So I guess he's contributed quite a bit by now, if you consider that. But so thanks to him, he tells us a year at that point. Now, that's the beginning of Season 3. 16 episodes, Season 3. By the end of Season 3, characters again wearing coats, appears to be colder outside, and we get the finale at the end of Season 3. After that, we get another 6-month time skip. So that's a big one. So that goes right over winter again. So now in Season 4, we're 2 years in. We're 2 years, 2 winters, back to the spring in, and then we go through all the episodes of that, and yet again, characters wearing coats at the end, and the difference between the end of Season 4 and the beginning of Season 5 is non-existent. Time does not pass when they're in the train car. Hardly any anyway, if any at all. Maybe a day, let's say. It's something like that. A day or 2, let's say. So maybe not even, really. So when you consider all of that, we are at least 2 years, and I would say a half. We're at least 2 years and a half through the Walking Dead zombie apocalypse at this point. So we're at a point in the zombie apocalypse world, 2.5 years through, maybe a little bit more, maybe 2.75, depending on how you want to look at when it actually started, from the coma or whatever. And yeah, so I think that's about as accurate as you're going to get, Luke, or anybody else who's wondering. I think that's about as accurate as you could think of it, as 2.5 years. Sometimes it seems like longer because it's been 5 years we've been watching it, or 4 full seasons into the 5th season now. The comic book series is way further than that. They're probably like I'd have to look at it. But if you consider it to be the same, then there's the war, there's 2. It's probably at like 6 or 7 or 8 years into the zombie apocalypse, somewhere around there. I'd have to break it down and analyze it, but probably something like that, like way ahead. But yeah, so I think that's pretty cool, and it kind of gives you perspective why it's so hard to find transportation, because all the cars' batteries are like as dead as they could possibly be unless they have some gas in the tank. I think gas pretty much is good for as long as it's there, inside of a tank. You should be okay for it. But yeah, that's why they can't. They will run out of gas eventually. They will use it all up probably. Even though there's a lot of cars out there, there's a lot of gas, there's a lot of people. So and pretty much everybody nowadays has a car. But I think it's 2.5 to 2.75, 3/4 years into the zombie apocalypse. So thanks for the question, man. Next question comes from Slycargo Bravado, and he or she asks, hi Trev, do you think we will ever hear or see how other communities are faring? And is it possible that the group may decide to leave the USA by some means for a remote island of some sort? We saw something like that in Day of the Dead. If you want to see what that kind of looks like in a zombie apocalypse, check out Day of the Dead, because that's, well, did I just ruin the movie? Spoilers. Well, I didn't ruin it, but some of the characters, the ones that survive, do go to a deserted island, and it's our understanding that they, in doing so, have defeated the zombie apocalypse. However, I don't know if that's 100% the case. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. I don't know if we'll ever see that in the Walking Dead TV series. Maybe we could see that in the spinoff. I hope we're going to get to see some different countries in the spinoff, but I guess we'll have to see. Sounds like they're filming in Kansas, so it could be somewhat similar, to tell you the truth, if it's Kansas or it's Atlanta and Georgia. I mean, they're not that different. I mean, they're pretty similar. So let's hope that it's going to be quite a bit different, and that we'll see, I don't know, some other country or something, but it doesn't sound like it right now. Even though I'd like to see like, I don't know, my country, Canada or or the UK or something, just any other country in The Walking Dead would be cool to see. But I don't think we probably ever will. No, I don't think so. At least not anytime soon, not in the original series, maybe in the spinoff. Good question, though. Next question is from Eemeli Reijonen, and he or she asks, we can see the church bus crashing into another car in the trailer. What do you think about that? I'd have to watch through the trailers again, because there's so many trailers, it's hard. It's hard to kind of keep up and keep track. They've released so many at this point. I do know what you mean, though. The one Abraham is fixing appears to crash. Well, I mean, I could just assume that, they're gonna run into some trouble. Of course, Gareth and the others are out there. There's lots of clips in the trailers that we have not seen in episodes yet. If you go back and watch them, it'll give you a pretty good indication of some different environments, at least, we're going to see. And I'm assuming they're going to run into a lot of trouble on their way to Washington as they go through some heavily populated areas. It's going to be tricky for them to get through, for sure. Especially if they have to go through a city or something. It should be cool. I can't wait to see it. But yeah, that's much as I can say about that right now. I guess we'll see in the episodes coming up if that's got any importance. I guess we'll see. Next one's from Jørgen Fonstad, and he or she asks, when do you think we will meet Morales and how? So you guys who watched the channel for a bit, subscribed, I did a video giving my thoughts on the possibility of Morales returning. It's not confirmed 100%. Some people get mad, it's a spoiler. It's not. We don't know for sure. We don't know when, and what I do is I let you guys know about Walking Dead news in and around the show. So if you don't want to know anything about the series at all and watch it 100% without any knowledge, then yeah, you may not be interested in the videos, because I give you more knowledge than you could get from just watching the show, even more than Talking Dead if you watch all the videos, I'd have to say, probably. And yeah, so with regards to Morales, I hope we see him this season. I hope they bring him back. I think we'll see him at another community this season. I think within the next few episodes, maybe before the half-season break or just after the half-season break. I'm hoping we see him before the end of the season. I'll go halfway. I'll say around the mid-season finale. I hope that'd be a cool time to bring him in, don't you think? Just a prediction. I have no prior knowledge or no inside info on that, but that's what I would do personally if I was writing. So I'd like to see that. Next one is from Sean Burnett, and he asks, Could we see the group go to Wiltshire Estates before Washington? I think that it was confirmed that Shane and Andrea in season 2 had gone there as they went to that garage, if you remember, and Shane was kind of teaching her how to shoot before, on the way back, she went all, party girl and grabbed his crotch and the whole thing. You guys remember that? I believe that was supposed to be Wiltshire Estates. I'm pretty sure. So, I don't know. I mean, we might see something like it again. I hope so. But, it would be cool to see because we've never seen the group live at a location like that, really. So that would be neat, but I don't think we're going to see it again, to tell you the truth. I don't think so. Next question is from Amy McGeary. She keeps asking me this question, but that's okay. She wants to know which characters I think are best or have been best translated from the comic books into the show, and which characters in the show would you like to have seen in the books, and what characters from the books would you want to see in the show? Well, I would want to see everybody from the comic books in the show at some point or another, pretty much. I hope eventually we see Daryl in the comic books. That's unless Dwight is Daryl. Maybe Merle in the comics would be cool. I don't know. Just throw him in there. Why not? It'd be fun. Why not? And let's see. Okay, so the core question here is which characters are best translated? Well, this is one I could do a whole video on, so I won't go into it too much. But the characters that are best translated, I'd have to say Shane is number one. He's the best because he's improved so much. Then maybe Morgan. Really like to see what they did with Morgan in the TV series. Rick, pretty good. Andrea, terrible. Dale, terrible. Herschel was great. Really, really good was Herschel. Awesome. So far, Glenn's been good. Maggie's been good. Was Beth even in the comics? I don't think so. Carol is not the same character. She's not, okay? People always say, oh, Carol is in the comic books. It's not this. She doesn't look the same. She doesn't act the same. She's nothing alike. Aside from sharing the same name and possibly the same fate, we'll see what happens with that. There's like no similarities between the two, unless something in the future, her fate ends up being the same as what happened with Carol in the books, then aside from that, it's totally different. So she'd be one, though, if you consider the same character. And let's see, I mean, there's been lots of characters, but probably those would be the best, with Shane definitely being at the top of that, since Daryl doesn't exist in the books. Neither does Merle. The governor was great, too, actually. Gareth, to be honest, is a lot better than Chris was in the books already. I can say that. Tyrese, I'm interested to see what they do with Tyrese. He's been a good translation too. So there's lots, and like I said, I could do a whole video on it, so I won't go on for too long. But there's lots of great characters they've translated. Eugene already's been fun. Abraham's okay. Rosita's she's okay. I mean, she does what she's supposed to do, which is look good, and that's it. Same with Maggie, really. So, but that's pretty much all I got to say for that one. But thanks for the question, and sorry it took me so long to answer it. Next one is from Corey Franklin. He's got a couple, and he says, "Hey Trev, you should do a video on Terminus versus Woodbury." I think I have. Isn't it bad when I might have mentioned it in a Q&A? It's bad when you make so many videos that you don't remember what you've done, and that happens to me all the time. I get an idea, and I'm like, I should do this. I better search just in case. Oh, yeah, I did that. That was 9 months ago on just random Sunday night or something. Because I've done almost 2,000 videos now between all the different channels. I literally do forget what I've done sometimes. But yeah, that one I have talked about before, so I won't go into that. I'm sure you guys some of you have heard it, because I know I mentioned it somewhere. Next one from him is, what about if Joe's group got to Terminus? What would happen there? That's a good question. I think Joe's group was just straight up too smart to fall for it. We saw that, like he mentioned, it's too good to be true. That's for sure. There's no sanctuary for us, right? If they got desperate enough to attack it, they could do pretty well, I think, because he had a good number of men with him, and Rick took him out pretty easily with Daryl and the others. But if he had the full group with Len, against Terminus, he could probably do all right if he got the jump on him, because they had some pretty good firearms. But I don't know. Terminus has got so many people that I tend to think Terminus would have overpowered him over time because they have so many numbers, right? But yeah, they could have done pretty good. I guess we'll do a couple more. Next one's from Black Strat 370, and he asks, or possibly she, Trev, what are your thoughts on some big flashbacks this season of Morgan or even Morales if he returns? I would love to see some awesome flashbacks, man. That would be sick, especially of Morgan. Yeah, actually Morales too. That would be really cool just to see what happened with them. They could even do a full episode. I won't complain. If they do a full Morgan episode, dude, I will not complain at all. Even one for him and one for Morales. Some people will cry, filler. Honestly, I don't feel like the Walking Dead TV series has had any filler, hardly at all. Maybe like one episode a season, which is not bad. Still, Arrow on the doorstep or doorpost or whatever the hell it's called. I always mix that up. Maybe season 2 there was a couple in there, but aside from those, there has not been hardly any filler throughout the series at all. At least not in my opinion. They're expanding the comic books. They're not filling it, right? Filling it is if you're doing the exact same thing, but you're just putting in extra shit that doesn't matter and doesn't add to the story. That's filler, okay? Things that add to the story, things that change the story, killing off characters different times like Andrew, the others, creating something new and unique, and giving us characters like Daryl. Do you consider Daryl and Merle to be filler? If you do, I don't know what to say to you. It's not filler. So I would love to see some backflashes or big flashbacks of those characters, even whole episodes. And again, it would add to the characters, and I don't feel like it would be filler because I'm dying to know what happened with them. The governor got it. I think Morgan at least deserves it. Morales too. It'd just be cool, man. I would love to see it. And no, I don't think it would be filler. It'd be better than Still. No matter what. Even if Morgan just sits there and Lenny James just goes, I don't know, gives us some crazy talk. I'd love it, or something. That'd be awesome. Okay, next question's from, and I guess we'll make this one last one because I'm going on a while. Vince Thompson, and he says, my question is, do you think Rick? That's how I know I'm going on too long. Do you think Rick will get to develop a love interest at some point this season? He needs some happiness. Smiley face. Yeah, that's a good one. I've thought that for a while because it's been all the way since like the beginning of season 3. So it's been 2 whole zombie apocalypse 16 episode seasons now. That in a couple episodes that he's had to go through this since Lori. So I think so. I mean, it's been a long time. I think within this season or season 6 at the latest, we should see some kind of love interest for Rick develop. I think so. Yeah. Okay, and I guess, I'll finish it with one more. Might as well. Why not? This one's from Nathan Servant, and he wants to know, hey, this is for Q&A you're going to do soon. Do you think the cross on the back of the car is a cross sign of a hospital or from a church? They probably have Beth, and she was what it looked like in the trailer in a hospital. Just your thoughts on that. Yeah, I think you're right. That makes sense. At first, last season, I thought it was a church. I thought it was Father Gabriel. Maybe they were doing a remix of his character. Turned out it wasn't him, and turned out it was instead Gareth is kind of the remix, so to speak. But I think you're right. I think it's probably like a hearse to a hospital or something, which makes sense too, right? And somebody else asked me if I thought Beth was in it when it drove by, Daryl and Carol. No, I don't think so. I think they're picking up people, bringing them there for some kind of testing for some mad scientist. That's my theory. Maybe that's where Bub came from. I don't know. But he showed up at the end of season 4. A zombie character from Day of the Dead. Watch Day of the Dead if you haven't seen it, by the way. It's a great zombie apocalypse movie. Probably my favorite one. So far, anyway. That is, unless The Walking Dead ever does one. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about all of these topics. How long do you think it's been since the zombie apocalypse started? What's your timeline? And what do you think about all these great questions? Great questions, guys. If you have more, send them to me. Maybe I can do them this upcoming week, leading up to episode 4 next week. So, if you guys like the video, please do me a solid, do me a favor, making 20-minute videos here. Come on. Thumb it up below. If you want to help support the channel, please share it, please favorite. If you're new and you want to do me a favor, if you just tune in, you don't have a YouTube account, please use your email. It takes like 5 minutes maybe. Create an account and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100,000. Do me a favor. Please do it for me. Anyway, yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you tonight for the review. As always, it's Trev. Say peace.